Today, we're diving into a collection of incredible Urdu proverbs that are just packed with timeless wisdom about life, love, and, well, what it means to be human. These aren't just old sayings. They're like little windows into a really deep understanding of ourselves and the world around us. So, let's get into these golden words.
We're kicking things off with this really powerful idea. Just think about your own life for a second. How many people know you? They know your name, what you do for a living, your favorite coffee order. But now, how many people truly understand you? Your hopes, your fears, the things you don't say out loud. That difference, right there, between knowing and understanding, that's at the very heart of everything we're about to explore.
All right, so for our first section, we're basically turning the camera around to face ourselves. These proverbs, they act like a mirror, showing us our own psychology and behavior in ways that are, honestly, pretty eye-opening.
Now, this is such a fascinating insight. It's suggesting that when you blow up over something tiny, it might not really be about that little thing at all. It could be a sign of a much deeper need, a need for love. It's really asking us to look past the surface of our own anger and find the real root cause, not in the situation, but inside ourselves.
What a perfect metaphor. I mean, it's so clear, right? Just like a machine that hasn't been taken care of starts to squeak and grind, a mind that isn't kept sharp, that's allowed to get rusty, just leads to careless, nonsensical talk. It's a huge reminder to keep polishing our own thinking.
This slide lays out such a stark and insightful contrast. On one hand, you have us, humans, and it points out a major flaw we often have. We tend to zero in on that one single mistake, letting it completely erase 100 good things someone has done. But then it compares that to the concept of the divine, Rahman, the most merciful, which is the total opposite. It's a grace that looks for that one good deed, even in a sea of mistakes. It's a powerful thought on judgment versus real compassion.
And this is where all that self-reflection is leading. True freedom, according to this proverb, isn't about getting everyone to like you or approve of you. Nope. It's about getting to a place of self-acceptance that's so solid, so complete, that what other people think just becomes irrelevant to your own peace of mind. Okay, now let's see how all this inner wisdom plays out when it comes to one of the most complicated emotions we deal with: love. These next proverbs, they don't just give a simple definition. They really pull love apart, looking at its different forms and the huge impact it has on us.
Before we jump into the answers, just sit with this question for a second. It really pushes back against that common idea of love being this chaotic, dramatic storm. It asks us to be really honest. Is what we're feeling a true connection, or is it just an attachment we've gotten used to? And here's the answer our source gives, and it might not be what you'd expect. It says that real, authentic love isn't supposed to be this constant source of anxiety and chaos. Actually, the true sign of it is a deep inner peace. It's that feeling of coming home, of your soul feeling satisfied, not your heart constantly racing in a state of restlessness. This slide just brilliantly shows the two different roads love can take you down. On one path, love is like a trial, a temptation that pulls you away from your own values and quiets your conscience. But the other path shows love as devotion, a force that lifts you up, brings you closer to something spiritual, and silences all the noise from your own ego.
So, how do you find that higher, more devotional kind of love? Well, according to this wisdom, it's not about big, dramatic gestures. It's about grounding that feeling in good qualities. Things like patience when times get tough, modesty in how you carry yourself, and having a spiritual connection. That's what turns simple affection into something sacred.
So, we've looked at the inner world of love, and now we're going to turn to the outside world, our relationships with other people. How do we handle all the complexities of trust, friendship, family? These next proverbs offer some pretty sharp, practical advice.
Here's a piece of wisdom that is just timeless. It's a sharp reminder that when someone is laying on the flattery way too thick, they often have another motive. The person showering you with praise might not be your biggest fan. They might just have a hidden agenda. The takeaway? Trust what people do, not just their sweet words.
Now, it's really important to note that the source material also has some very specific and what some might see as traditional views on gender dynamics. These points are presented here exactly as they appear in the source. They reflect one particular cultural viewpoint on men and women in relationships, touching on everything from what are seen as inherent traits to the spiritual side of things.
This next one is it's heartbreakingly poignant, isn't it? It gets at a really painful, universal truth. The deepest cuts don't come from our enemies, they come from the people we trust the most. And that repetition, my own and then very much my own, that really drives home how the pain gets worse and worse the closer that person is to you.
And this proverb just perfectly captures that quiet tragedy when families start to drift apart. It describes that painful, almost surreal moment when you realize you're not in the loop anymore, that the connection has gotten so weak that strangers know more about your own family than you do. It's a sad but powerful truth.
So, this brings us to the final leg of our journey. After looking at ourselves, our loves, our relationships, where does all this wisdom say we can find true, lasting peace? Well, the answer, as we're about to see, isn't out there in the world. It's deep inside. This right here is the core idea of this whole final section. It's talking about this incredible moment of freedom, when you finally unhook your own happiness from the unpredictable behavior of other people. People will change, circumstances will change, but this wisdom suggests that your real sanctuary, your bedrock of peace, is found in a spiritual connection that never changes.
Now, to really get these next couple of ideas, we need to understand this central concept, tawakkul. And it's important to know this isn't about being passive or just waiting for things to happen. It's an active, deep trust in a divine plan, a core belief that even when things make no sense to us, there's a higher wisdom at play. And that trust is the direct path to feeling content.
So, here's the crucial difference. Tawakkul is not some magic wand that makes all your problems just vanish. The challenges on the outside might still be there. The change is internal. It's all about the peace and the strength you feel in your heart, which comes from knowing for sure that you're not facing those challenges all by yourself.
And we're going to end our exploration on this really profound thought. It's this idea that answered prayers are connected to a state of total surrender. It's about letting go of our ego, letting go of our rigid demands for how and when things are supposed to happen. And in that moment of pure trust, when the demanding you finally gets out of the way, that's when a higher plan can finally unfold.
We've covered so much wisdom today, from our own psychology to the nature of love and peace. So as we wrap this up, the real question is, what resonated the most with you? Which of these golden words really hit home? And what's the one single insight that you'll carry with you after this?